Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I am Monique from Special Occasions by Design, and today we're going to talk about the behind the scenes for this LOL birthday party. We're going to discuss the cutout, the piñata, and the centerpieces, as well as a few other things. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Please go ahead and do so. Also hit that notification bell so you'll know when I post new content. So for the centerpieces, I used just normal printer, printed these images, and then I mirrored the image, as you can see here, and attached them to foam board. After I glued them to the foam board, I simply cut them out and glued them behind each other. Next, I did some longer, or taller at least, cutouts that I used in the yard just for added decoration. I ordered the printout from Sticker Banner, and they're 2 feet tall. I was able to get 2 designs per sheet that I purchased, and I believe my total came to a little bit under $30. I ended up with 4 cutouts. They are removable stickers, so that's the key. I attached them to black poster board and used a very sharp X-Acto knife and simply cut exactly around the edges. I did not mirror the image on these, and that was deliberate because I only needed the front of these to show as a cutout. Once the cutout was done, I simply popped it out, and then I added glue to the back, just hot glue, and grabbed some yard signs that you see at the Dollar Tree and simply glued it on. I added the video up here so you can see how I use these cutouts, as well as the ones that I use for the tabletops. So the next craft that I did was to make the piñata, and I used one of the cutouts that I got from Sticker Banner. I just had some cardboard, and I used that to make sure the kids were able to break it. I didn't want to use poster board because that was just a little bit too thick. Once I chose the right piece of cardboard, I simply grabbed a marker or Sharpie and drew around it because I wanted the cutout to be a little bit bigger than the actual picture that I was going to use. It didn't have to be an exact shape because the only thing I did with this was actually added the fringe paper around. So you'll see me here just drawing around, and there's no exact size that you need to use if you're doing this. You just need to make it a little bit bigger than the image that you're going to use. Once I had the image or outline done, I simply just used an X-Acto knife and cut around it. Like I said, I didn't even try to make sure that it was cut exactly the size of the image because it didn't matter, because I just needed some space between the image and the actual cardboard to add that fringe paper. So you'll see me here just going very quickly, cutting out this shape, and that is just as simple as that. Now, once the cutout was done, I made sure it was the right shape that I wanted, and then I cut strips for the sides that I was gonna glue on, but I also cut the back. Now, it was important that the front and the back were the same, so I did try to make sure those were as closely the same as I possibly could. Again, I'm one of those people that I don't really measure anything, and I try to go fast. The strips, I made them about 1.5 inches just because I needed room to fill the candy in, and I really couldn't figure out how I was going to attach them. I decided to go in, however, with hot glue, and I simply used hot glue to just glue each piece together, and it held, so I thought that was just enough. And then I went in again with hot glue, and I started gluing the pieces or strips that I bought or that I cut out. I glued those to the cardboard piece that you saw me cutting out earlier. Once those were glued, to the lower portion or to one side. I went ahead and glued the top. Now, one mistake that I made while I was doing this is that I actually glued the top part closed, which was not supposed to happen, because the candy needed to be inserted. So I ended up having to insert the candy at the bottom and definitely double, triple reinforce it to make sure that candy wouldn't just start falling out, which didn't happen. As you'll see here, that the glue was pretty strong. It held. Now, just if you're curious, I did not use any kind of Gorilla Glue. I just used the regular glue that I had on hand. And once this was done, I went behind this and I actually added tape because some places just weren't holding up as well. Now, by the time these were all done, my mom wanted to be involved in the craft, so she ended up cutting all the fringes. And she was a little bit more detailed than me. She made them about 2 inches each strip. And then she cut it open, pulled it open, and cut the slits in it. She made the piñata a lot fancier than I would have, because she also added purple, pink, and teal, just to make sure that it fully blended in with the theme colors that we were using at the party. And you'll see it here that she's just lining up the stuffing paper that you would put in gift bags. I can't remember the exact name for it, but she simply just lined that up and she cut strips in it. And once the strips were cut, then she added glue. Then you'll notice on this that she didn't go all the way around the front with the glue, and that's because, remember, we drew that design or that shape on the cutout, letting us know the size of the sticker that we were going to place there for the actual LOL doll. And we didn't want a lot of this paper to be in the way so the sticker wouldn't adhere properly to the cardboard. So we tried to leave that space while we were doing it. Alright, so I sped her up a little bit because she's just cutting out the strips. And next, once the strips were done, she went ahead and added some glue. And then we just put it's just school glue. We put it around and glued down the cringe paper that she did. Now, it is very thin as you see here, but if you left it like that, because you're adding multiple layers, it would be fine. My mom is a lot more of a perfectionist than I am, so she actually added 2 rows for each color to get this done. Now, the actual timing of this, I would say if you wanted to do this all in a day, please allocate at least an hour and a half, because the gluing portion does take a lot of time, and you just want to make sure that you are adequately covering everything up and the full design is just fully secured. Now, this is the finished product here with all the pieces glued on, and the next thing we did after this was just fluff it up a bit, just running your hand up and down the paper to make it a little bit fluffy, and then simply grab the sticker that you got from Sticker Banner, if that's what you did, and peel the back of that off because it is sticky, and just stick it to the front. Now, that is all I have for this. Remember, part 1 is the actual reveal of the event that's linked above. Be sure to click on that, like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching.